I'm a senior from Parker, Colorado. I go to Legend High School, and this is my video interview for the music education program at the University of Arizona. So to begin, the first question is, why did you decide to study music? And this question kind of dates back to when I was in elementary school, and I was going into middle school, and my big brother played the saxophone, so I just decided to try out band because he seemed to love it a lot. So I went and picked the oboe and loved it, and I was surprisingly good at it. It was just kind of that thing that clicked for me. Just music, it came easily, and it seemed natural, really. So then I was just good, so I decided to continue going throughout middle school and then high school, and it just kind of became who I was and like part of who I am. And so I've decided to continue studying music in college just because I'm so passionate about it and I love it and I believe that it can change lives. Which leads me to our second question of, why do you want to be a music teacher? So I love music, as I've already said, and music for me, it changed my life, and it has impacted me and my character and every part of myself since I was in the 6th grade and since I was, starting to play music. I've met so many amazing people through music, and I found myself in music, and I want to be able to share that, and I want to be able to teach people music, and not only music. I want to teach life skills, and I believe that music is a big part of life for me, and I believe it can be for lots of people. I want to be able to help those people realize their potential as a musician and really just as a person, because I don't think that music teachers are confined to just teaching music, but I've had teachers that have taught me so many things about morals and the future and the possibilities and just all parts of life, really. So I want to be able to share any knowledge that I've created and gained throughout my years as a person and as a musician, and share it with younger generations, and be able to really hone in passion of music and be able to share my passion with young people. So then, question 3, the age groups you are interested in working with and why. So, I think that this is kind of a weird question for me, because personally, my long-term dream and goal is to be able to open public music schools in third world countries that don't have any public music programs, and where people might be too poor or just unprivileged enough to be able to get classical training and jazz training and just any type of musicianship. So, however, if I was to pick a age group, I would probably want to be a teacher for high school, just because I believe that high school is such a crazy and tough time. As a high school senior, I know that, and I know how crazy and stressful and scary high school can be. Oh God, what's happening? Okay, sorry, but I know how crazy high school can be and how tough it can get, and I think that I would be really great at helping guide high school students and that age group into being a better human being and impact them and inspire them to follow their dreams in college and to work for the rest of their life for what you know that they can achieve. And okay, so question 4, what personal or professional traits demonstrated by a teacher do you want to emulate? So when I was in middle school, I had this band director who his name was Bill Hanel, excuse me, and he was, for lack of a better term, he was a hard ass. Excuse my French, but he pushed all of us to be amazing musicians, and while a lot of us were very scared of him, we all respected him. And underneath this hard outer shell, he had such a passion for music and for teaching and for creating music, and he shared that with all of us, and we, to the point where we had no choice but to be great musicians. I want to be the kind of teacher that pushes my students to be great musicians and work hard for musicianship and to stay inspired, and I want to have ensembles full of hardworking people who love music or just love to play their instrument, and I want to push them to be the absolute best that they could be, just like Mr. Hino pushed all of his students to be amazing musicians. Alright, and number 5, what is one experience of working with students? Okay, so fun little story I got for this question. My high school puts on this elementary band program for the entirety of a year, and where the elementary schools that will eventually come into our high school, they come some elementary kids, and every morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays we teach them how to play an instrument and how to be musicians. Pretty much, it's like just twice a week we'll get together and we'll they hate my my teacher has band students and just music students who will teach them the instruments and teach them any like basic musicianship and musical skills and all. And so I taught saxophone, alto saxophone, with a class of literally 16 4th and 5th graders. That was fun. We'll get into that. And then I also taught oboes. So I taught 2 little girls in 4th grade how to play the oboe. I tried to teach 2 little girls in 4th grade how to play the oboe, but 4th graders are a little tough to play the double reeds. So that was fun. But really, it was just so much fun seeing their bright faces at 7 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays when I was already half asleep still. And I would just wake up to a bunch of kids excited about music and excited about being there. Mostly, of course, we had those kids that parents made them come, so we always had to deal with that kind of thing, and just trying to hone in all of that energy in the morning and be able to kind of take that energy and put it into music and into learning about music, and into teaching and creating better musicians for the future. So that was a great time. I was working with all these little munchkins that just came in knowing nothing about music, and by the end of the year, like, they loved their concerts, and they could play some good stuff. Like, obviously they weren't perfect musicians, but it was great to see them come such a long way. And so that was a really amazing year that I got to teach with them. Alright, and then our 6th question, 1 to 2 examples of serving as a leader in a leadership role. So, throughout my high school life, I've spent all 4 years doing marching band, and so, of course, with the hierarchy of marching band, we got, director, drum majors, squad captains, or section, or like woodwind, brass captains, etc., and section leaders, and so on and so forth. So I was always itching to get a leadership role in marching band. And my junior and senior year, I was the section leader for the saxophones and the altos and all. So I got to spend 2 of my 4 years leading out my section and teaching new kids how to march and how we like to play in marching band, and the differences of marching band and concert band, and just really like how to read drill and how to march and all of that fun stuff. So that was a blast, and however, I won't ignore the fact that it was hard work and that there was a lot of responsibilities that came with being a leader in the band, like just staying with certain kids who weren't getting it, just to try and help them make it through, like making sure to not only being sure that I'm not the only one like doing what's right. I'm responsible for these other people that aren't myself, and so I always had to keep them going, make sure that they knew what was going on, and like stay right on with the drum majors and with whatever the directors were saying. And so being responsible for like 10 other people or so was hard, but we had so much fun. And so it gave me a chance to really explore who I am as a leader, and I think that I'm the kind of leader that I lead by example, and as well as actual I just forgot the word, as well as actual verbal and communicative ways of teaching and of helping others as a leader. So but I believe that also whatever you're doing, you want to enjoy it and have fun. So that was a big thing that I implemented, excuse me, into my leadership in marching band. So, yep. And those are the 6 questions. So thank you all for your time and watching my video. I appreciate it very much, and I can't wait to hear back. Thank you, guys.